All right, ladies and gentlemen and programmers, we're going to do Code Academy Lesson 4, Part 8. We're going to do 8 of 8. We're going to finish this thing up. All right, so open up Code Academy, and I want you to look at the words that are on the left. I want you to read through here, and I want you to write down an intelligent question in your notes about all this stuff. Read through this, understand it, and generate a question. Hit pause on this video. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so Java is an object-oriented programming language where every program has at least one class. Programs are often built from many classes and objects, which are the instance of a class. What does that mean? Write that down in your notes. What does that mean? Hit pause there until you write that down. All right, well, the idea is that a program is built out of classes. So, for example, here we have the car class that goes from this curly brace to this curly brace. And programs are built out of a collection of classes. So, for example, if we were doing the Forenza game, you would have a car class, you'd have a tree class, because if the car runs into the tree, it's going to crash. You're going to have the road class. So all these different classes are come together to build your game or your program. But in this case, you have the car class. You say the new keyword, and all of a sudden you actually build one of the objects. So it's classes and objects are fundamental to the thing. All right, so how about this one? Classes define the state and behavior of their instances. Behavior comes from methods defined in the class. All right, classes define the state and behavior of their instances. Behavior comes from methods defined in the class. What does that mean? Behavior comes from methods defined in the class. Write that down in your notes. Okay, if you didn't get it, what it means is you have this thing called public static void main string args. You have the main method, and you're going to define a bunch of. This is actually not done perfectly. I understand for people who know what they're doing. I understand that I'm going a little simplified here, but anyway, let's just keep going. So you have all these methods here that define the behavior. So when you have your car, he's going to move at a particular speed. He's going to turn depending on how the player is doing it. He's going to look for collisions to see if he hits the trees or another car, and he's going to look for the finish line to see if he won. So these are the behaviors that define what our car class will do. So the behaviors come from the methods defined in the class. So we have some methods here that we teach him how to do. Okay, the next quiz question is, the classes define the state and behavior of their instances. What does that mean? The state comes from the instance fields declared inside the class. All right, write down what that means, the best of your ability. Hit pause on this video. And okay, so the states are the same thing as the instance variable. So you have the color, the top speed, the handling on pavement, the handling off-road. Those are the things that define the cars and makes each car a little bit different than the other car. Okay, so the state comes. So if you had a car, so you'd have two different cars. One would have a state of being red. One would have a top speed of 180, a 9 out of 10 on pavement handling, and a 2 out of 10 on off-road handling. Whereas if you had like an SUV, the pavement handling would be lower, the off-road handling would be better. And so the state of the instance fields define some things about the car. So before we talked about what the car can do, and now we were talking about the characteristics of the car. All right, now answer the questions in the project. So let's do the project. Okay, so let's go to the project, if we can find it here. All right, so let's take a look at this thing. Basically what it says is the text editor. Oh, I know what that's talking about. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I forgot what I was planning on doing. That's terrible. All right, so number one, what is in your notes? What is this called and what does it do? Number two, what is this called and what do they do? So there's three of them. What are these things called and what do they do? Number three, what is this called and what does it do? The public dog. What is this thing called? Number four, what do you call the stuff above in parentheses? So what is this stuff in the parentheses? Number five, what is the operator called and what does it do? So there's this operator right here. What is it called and what does it do? Number six, what is this called and what does it do? Public static void main. Okay, what does that do? Number 7, what does the new operator do? What are the things in parentheses called? We got some stuff in parentheses again. What are these called and what do they do? And what does the code above do step by step? So dog newsio equals new dog, blah, blah, blah. What does that do step by step? Okay, answer those. And I'm not going to give you the answers to those. You have to figure those out on your own, except for I am going to do this one, dog newsio equals, because that one's kind of hard to, that one's hard to picture if you aren't positive. All right, so we have this new keyword, right? And so we know that that runs our constructor. But what does this dog newsio do? So basically what it's doing is creating an instance variable called newsio, okay? The data type is dog. The only thing that can go in this box is a dog. And then you create, the dog shouldn't be there yet. It should appear right now. So when you say new dog, all of a sudden your Java factory creates an instance of the class. It creates an object based off the dog class. And he has some characteristics. He's a Shiba Inu, which looks like this. He has a dog. He has an owner, and he's 12 years old, or whatever that one stands for. Okay, and so we have all these instance variables that belong to this instance of the class. So his breed is a Shiba Inu, and then you'd have the true and the 12 attached as well. But at any rate, that's what this thing does step by step. Is it creates an instance variable called, it creates a variable called newsio. Only thing that can go into a dog. What do you do with it? You put in a brand new dog, and the dog has these states or these characteristics in its instance variables. All right, I think that is it. Oh wait, no, we're not. It's not quite it because we have to finish the project. All you have to do to finish the project, just play around with this stuff just on your own. Just figure there's nothing real technical about it. Just hit run. Pretty much anything you do is gonna work fine, I think, for the most part, and then we're good to go. Thanks, guys.